Morning. Today we will talk about the interview questions of DFT. The first question is, how can you reduce the test time using DFT? Without DFT, it will take more time. For example, if there are 1 million pins, testing will take 10 seconds for each pin. In such a way, it will take 3.5 months to finish the testing for all the pins without using DFT. So if you go with the DFT, by using DFT, this time is reduced by 3.5 days as we are using the compression technique atpg. Next one is, what is ADA coverage? Explain with one example. So test point insertion is used where there is more difficulty in testing. So ADA approach, the test point insertion is going to be used. So my next question is, which approach is used for scan insertion? For the scan insertion, we are going to use the DFT approach. Next question is, what are undetectable faults? How to detect faults? And is to test point insertion is enough to make it controllable? Yes. So here we'll see, first one is blocked faults. Blocked pins tied to ground or VCC. Tied pins. Here, the designer has to purposefully tied the pins to logic high, low. Next, unused pins, Q. Redundant pins, faults that cannot be tested are called the undetected, untested faults. Next question is, what is launch and capture? What do you do during the launch and capture? Launch. The value or a pattern which makes the transition at a particular node. Capture. The value which is captured after the transition is made. During launching, the value or a pattern which makes the transition at a particular node will be provided to the flop, and during capturing, the value produced after the transition will be captured by the output flop. They happen at functional speed. How many 8-speed clocks can be generated? Based on the transition technique selected by the engineer, the number of 8-speed clock pulses is generated. If you use the LOC, 2 8-speed clock pulses is needed. If LO is 1 8-speed clock pulse is needed. What is at-speed testing? It is nothing but a transition test. This test model uses the test pattern that create a transition stimuli to change from logic value from either 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. The time allowed for the transition is specified. If it does not happen, then fault is occurred. How transition faults are detected? Next question is, how transition faults are detected? Two vectors are used to detect transition faults: to initialize the node, to launch and propagate the value from the node to the output. Okay, my next question is, how do you increase your test coverage in atpg and what are the different violations? So first we will see the how to improve the test coverage. The design must be 100% scan design, use sequential patterns, no X propagation in the design, more number of test points, completely defined netlist, no floating input and output pins, avoid the contention, avoid bus floating. So these are the techniques to improve the coverage. Okay, we will discuss in our next video. Please subscribe and share my channel.